How are you? Welcome. I'm Doc, and welcome to the
Hi, how
Sleuth
are you?
Cast. Hey, how are you? With my co-hosts, Fumpy
Hello, I'm
and
Pumpy.
and Swiss.
What's up?
So today we got a special episode. We are going to be going over the NFL season, give us a little preview and some interesting stuff for you guys. Is Fumpy doesn't know football. He's kind of a
I
dork.
know, I know bits and
You know the
that's
Eagles,
what labels me
bro.
a dork.
Okay.
Okay,
He knows
one
team. He
Eagles
knows
is
team
my number
names.
one team.
He
Who's
knows
your?
team names.
I know
That's
team
good.
names. I know the rules of it
The
somewhat.
rules of the
I
road, if you will.
I just don't know stats of players and or players. I
Okay.
just I just couldn't get super in depth with it.
The most casual of casual fans is
Appreciate
Pumpy
we
here.
we
Yes,
like that take. He's
that
probably
is
gonna have the best picks of all of us, to be honest.
Truly
yeah.
biased.
Let me turn this light down
And
Entirely.
here.
for everybody watching, we are putting money on this $1,000.
Yeah, no thanks.
Whoever's
You're terrible at betting, and this is where you lose all your money.
This bear
yeah,
knows
see.
where you work, and this bear knows you can't cover that bet.
The thing is, you guys are gonna feel like idiots when you guys end up winning the bracket. You're like, "Damn, we could have won $1,000." Just saying.
uh, bragging rights,
You
man.
know I'm terrible at betting. You know I'm terrible at betting,
Yeah.
so
All right, so Swiss, we'll start you off. You can lead the charge here today.
All right. Gonna start with the NFC West here, and I really think Brock Purdy comes back. And even if he's only an okay quarterback, I think that team is built well enough to still take the number one out there. So I definitely think the Niners win the NFC West. That defense is just too good. No matter how Brock Purdy really plays, I don't think you have to be a great quarterback for that team to win. So moving over to the NFC South, I got the Saints on this one. Derek Carr goes to a team that has a lot of question marks. I don't know if Thomas is going to be back, their wide receiver this year, and what he's going to be like. That dude hasn't played in basically 2 years, and
Still the
their
same
running
injury,
back
right?
situation, huh?
It's still the same injury he's been dealing with.
Right, and
Kind of
like
like
there's a
Bakhtiari with his ACL, where it took him like 2 years.
well, and like I think there was a contract thing in there too. Like it's just been really wild.
Mhm.
Um, but then the whole Alvin Kamara thing too. Facing some possible charges, may miss some games there. Don't know what's going on with that. But this team, if all of its pieces are there, has the opportunity to be pretty good. Derek Carr is not a terrible quarterback, but there are definitely weapons there if those weapons show up. So I think that's doable for that team. Going to the NFC East, the Eagles. I think this is a hard runaway for the Eagles.
Mhm.
I think that offense gets better and learns to do a few more things, and that defense looks awesome. I think they're going to be just fine. I don't trust most of the other teams in this division very much.
I mean, especially like watching last year with Jalen Hurts and everything. I mean, like I tuned in for a lot of the Eagles games because it was something that me and my buddy could talk about. And yeah, no, I mean their offense was pretty killer. Like it
Right,
was hard
and,
to keep
and
up with them.
well, and I think teams are going to start picking up on some of what they've done, so you're going to be forced to evolve. And I think that's
Right.
actually going to be a really good thing. I think we're getting to a point where the game's starting to slow down for him, and he's starting to see the field a little bit better. And when he does, it's going to be interesting. I mean, a couple of different comps to him. He could be another Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick kind of guy, where he can kill you with his legs, but
Oh
he can
yeah.
also kill you with the arm. I mean, this is what I think of when I think of an Eagles quarterback in a strange way. I mean, uh, their quarterback back in the '80s was the same way. Um, Randall Cunningham, he was a runner, passer guy, so very much what the Eagles do. Moving over to the NFC North, I think the Vikings take this. I think they're just the most competent team. I do like Detroit, but I really do think that Minnesota gets the solid 10, 11 wins of this season, and most of it I think is going to be in division. I don't know what Green Bay is going to be, and I don't expect anything of the Bears. So
Yeah.
Betraying your own kind.
no, man, just being real about it. I mean,
Bears suck at football. Clearly, that guy doesn't realize. You see the guy behind you? Yeah,
yeah, I
he
was
He
gonna
gets
doesn't
it.
know
say,
it's soccer. You
He
can't touch
gets
him
it.
with your hand. Yeah.
moving over to the AFC, we're going to start off in the AFC West. Kansas City. I don't think anybody's changing that team up too much. They're just a constant 12-win season. Andy Reid is one hell of a coach. You can't say enough about Patrick Mahomes as a player, and he's really good at elevating people around him. Like, he's good at making whatever you give him work, however it needs to. I mean, there's a couple players that he won the Super Bowl with last year that were from teams with a great quarterback where we didn't see that from them. Valdez Scantling is a good one for, us Wisconsin Bears. We've gotten to see him up close and personal in Green Bay, and it just kind of wasn't working with him and Rodgers. It never really sparked the way he wanted it to. Clearly, Mahomes was able to make that work when he needed to make it work. So I think KC keeps charging there. Going to the AFC South, who did I have for this one? I had the Jags. Yeah, I think the Jaguars take this. Doug Peterson is a great coach from a great coaching tree. Um, and this is actually a well-stocked team. I mean, they've had a top 10 draft pick how many times in the last 20 years? This team has some solid young talent on it, and I think Doug Peterson's the kind of guy that can really bring that out. And this is, quite frankly, kind of a soft division. Um, it'll be interesting to see what they are in 2 or 3 years. But right now, there's really nothing special about this division. The best team there is a team that's getting old and going downhill, sort of, in Tennessee. So I think the Jags take this division. AFC East. I am gonna go Homer route here. I am a huge Dan Marino fan. I love my Dolphins, and I think they take this division this year. Um, Buffalo has been known to be the kid on the block now for a couple of years, so those guys are going to have everybody taking quite the shot at them. The Jets and Aaron Rodgers have made so much noise with being on Hard Knocks and the trade itself that same thing. Teams are going to be aiming to show who they are against that Jets team that's gotten all this publicity, and I think kind of Miami's going to get lost in the shuffle there, and those two teams are going to be facing so many other teams that are just giving them their best shot that Miami may come out and end up being an 11-12 game winner here if either one of those two teams struggles. And I don't see New England doing a whole lot of anything. Nothing against Mac Jones. I think that coaching staff needs to be changed out soon. I don't mean any disrespect to Bill Belichick. I mean, the man has won how many Super Bowls. His credentials speak for themselves, but it's time for another voice in that room. And I feel like those guys are just afraid to rip the Band-Aid off a little bit at this point. So, Miami takes the East. AFC North. I have the Bengals taking this. I just have a really hard time seeing that team not excelling, even if Burrow does end up missing some time here with the injury he might be dealing with. I think this team wins, at least 12 games in this division. Pittsburgh's going to be fun. I think you got two teams that are going to play spoilers in this division all year, being Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I think they're both going to be somewhat entertaining teams to watch, but I don't expect anything dominant out of them, and I just don't know what to expect from Baltimore. So I think the Bengals reign supreme here again.
I guess a quick question that I had with people having injuries and charges, like you said, it's like when they're clear, they get to come back, or is it like they're gone for the rest of the season?
No, they'll still get a suspension from the NFL even if they're innocent.
Yeah,
Conduct
and it
detrimental to the
depends on how
team.
they
Yeah.
want to do it and stuff. So there is, in the case of the Saints and running back Alvin Kamara, he's dealing with an off-field charges of a nature I'm not going to go into detail on. He he may end up going to court and stuff like that, but if something happens during the season and they decide to detain him, obviously he would miss some games because he's been arrested or is in custody. Not to make that sound worse than what it should sound on that, but the other thing that may happen is the NFL, and they would need to do it before the season, I believe, would need to decide to suspend him some games. Otherwise, that suspension may be handed down, but then put on to next year. So,
Yeah,
and
there's
then
a
guys,
little window that they have right now
yep,
to decide
and
whether they're going to punish or not.
because at the same time, the NFL does, just as much as the authorities aren't sure what's going on, neither does the NFL. And Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, that's a decision him and the owners kind of probably talk about and have to make there as to, do you do anything yet? Do you let the year play out and handle it how you need to handle it and stuff like that. But in the case of guys that are injured, yeah, they're waiting for the okay from the doctor to be medically cleared. There's a whole panel of tests and stuff they have to be able to pass, and depending on the injury and all that stuff too. But once you are medically cleared, it's then a coach's decision and your decision as to are you going to play, when you're going to suit up, and depending on your position too. Like if you're a wide receiver coming back from an injury, they might put you on a bit of a pitch count where you only play so many downs a game for the first couple games just to get you back
Mhm.
in. Obviously, for a quarterback, that's a little different. If you got a bum leg, they might be able to just change their play calling around and you run around a little less, but there's some different things like that.
I'm assuming you guys want me to go next. Finish
Yeah.
off strong with Dr. Bear.
Yeah, and then we'll circle back when we get to the playoff teams and stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna go in the same order.
All right, sounds good.
And for the fact that I don't know any stats or people or coaches or
By
whatnot,
all means, you could just
I'm
tell us why you picked them. Doesn't matter. It's all good. This is
and
your
I'm gonna
opinion.
tell you why I picked up.
All
And I'm
right,
gonna tell
all
you.
right. Let's hear it.
I cannot tell you what show it's from, but I remember there was a show where a dude was just like, place your bet on a team or whatever. He's just like, well, I'm pretty sure if a Ram and the Seahawks faced off, the Ram would win because the Seahawks couldn't just take a Ram. So that's what I'm going to go off of here. I'm also going to pick my favorite teams. So the, the NFC West, definitely going to go with the Rams because a Seahawk cannot beat a Ram. I don't know what the 49ers are. So,
A gold digging person.
ooh, pickaxes though. Pickaxe would beat a Ram. So I'm going to go with the 49ers.
The Cardinal doesn't stand a chance.
That weak ass Cardinal,
Yeah,
bro.
no, fuck the Cardinals, dude.
Which is fine.
I
That
was
team's a giant mess right now anyway.
the Buccaneers, they look more piratey, so I'm pretty sure they would have guns, right?
Yeah.
So
They fire a giant cannon off, yes.
and obviously the Saints are Saints. They can't they're good people, right? But the Saints is one of my favorite teams. I'm gonna have to go with the Saints. Now, the New York Giants, Eagles, Redskins, which is not the Redskins anymore, and the Cowboys.
Commanders.
I'm gonna have
Commanders.
the Washington Commanders. So I did follow the Eagles last season. Shout out to my boy Gabe. I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles because like everything that you said, like the offense is good. I think they're very good at adapting. So we're gonna go with the Eagles for the NFC East, and then North. I'm gonna stick to my home, the Green Bay Packers. Do I think they're gonna do good? No, but like whatever, because it's like a new quarterback this year, right?
He's
Jordan
technically
Love takes
not
the reins.
new, but yeah, it's his first year as starter.
He spent the
Okay.
last 3 years behind Rodgers.
Mhm.
Well, that dude's a cunt.
Wow.
Tell me how you really
Um,
feel. Holy shit.
Yeah, right. But in a fight, the Lions would win. Ooh, Lions versus Bears. Anyways, the Bears would win. Bears always win.
Scientifically, the bear owns the lion. The lion.
And then for the AFC West, like statistically speaking, I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs. Like honestly, like they're really good. I think speaking of the Super Bowl last year, that whole field, the new field that they decided on the Super Bowl, that was kind of bunk. Like they just decided to try out a
Hey,
new.
man, they didn't
No,
win, so they can't make
it's not just
excuses.
that stadium. They were in Arizona again, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Arizona, the last time they had a Super Bowl there, they were already talking about how crap the facility was. So half the problem was actually like excess water getting into the building.
Yeah,
Oh,
because if you don't know the field there, you could take that entire field and slide it outside to grow the
Yep,
grass, and then slide it back into play.
because they're kind of out in the middle of the desert
Yeah.
area there, and
right.
so when they replaced this new turf, I don't remember if it was like a sprinkler system or what it was, but whatever. It ended up having like excess moisture in it and stuff, which it's a semi-artificial turf, like it's a hybrid,
hmm
so it wasn't meant to be watered like that. So there was, and that was the grounds team for taking care of that building's fault too.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
mean,
Yeah.
that building in general has a lot of problems. That team has a lot of problems all the way around. They just changed their coach. Their quarterback is injured after having a lengthy contract dispute last
Well,
year.
let's be real. Kyler Murray's just playing DMZ right now. He's not actually doing anything football. All he does is play Call of Duty, bro.
Yeah.
Moving on to the AFC East. Nope, sorry, South. Uh, don't fuck with Texas, man. The Texans are going to just shoot the Jaguars. They're going to shoot the Titans. They're going to shoot the Colts. Texans all the way, baby.
Who's even the
That's just.
starting quarterback for the
Who knows?
Are you asking?
Bumpy
No,
Are
doesn't
you
definitely
asking me?
don't know,
no.
bro.
Is it Davis
Who's the
Mills?
governor of Texas?
Jerry.
No, Texans all the way. And then again, Patriots have guns. Patriots just shoot everything, including your Dolphins. Sorry, it just do
Bullets
be
don't
like that
work underwater.
sometimes.
Bullets don't work underwater.
Harpoon guns
Hey,
do.
do you know what?
Not their
Dolphins
little
get horny.
Not their
Listen,
little
Dolphins get horny. They come up to the surface, start humping, and the Patriots go. Just saying. I'm sorry, I'm making this ridiculous. And then again, one of my other favorite teams. So it's Packers, Eagles, Saints, and then Steelers. I'm gonna have the Steelers to take the AFC North.
Pick it to pick it. It's gonna be fun.
All I gotta say
Yeah,
is the Steelers is a solid pick because Mike Tomlin can make magic out of some shit. He's a good coach.
He's never not been in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, he's really fucking good as a coach. Like,
Like
real good.
every year he's been the head coach, they've gone to the playoffs. He's never.
really. Wow.
Is it playoffs or winning record?
Yeah, he doesn't lose. Even with Big Ben, I think
Like
they had
that.
like a 9-8 when he retired. So like, he
Yeah, no,
hasn't
like
won
when
one
I
season.
like my dad's super into football, so I always like watched it when it was on, and so it was on a lot. But one of the Super Bowls or whatever that got me into the Steelers and everything was they just threw it like a Hail Mary, and then all of a sudden, like, dude's tippy toes were in the end zone, and
Oh
he caught
yeah.
it, and it counted. I freaked out. I was like, "That was sick! I love this game." So that's
That
actually what got me into
Nice.
home
football a little bit.
Washington outside left. Roethlisberger has time. Throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes.
It was a good catch. I was that was against the Cardinals. I was pulling hard for the Cardinals with Kurt Warner.
hmm Fun fact: Kurt Warner was a backup for the Packers behind Brett Favre.
Correct.
So was Matt Hasselbeck, and they both had great careers afterwards.
So was Doug Peterson, who is now a coach and has won a Super Bowl with
Yes,
those Eagles.
exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, it's the Green Bay is the quarterbacks, man. Don't know
Andy
how.
Reid, Andy Reid, the head coach for KC right now, has won the last 2 Super Bowls with them. Was also the quarterbacks coach at the time.
Hmm. And he coached the Eagles.
Yep.
Super duper,
As
bro.
that Green, the Mike Holmgren coaching tree is
Oh yeah,
sometimes
it
underrated.
is
That dude,
ridiculous. It's that
Steve
Parcells,
Mariucci,
and
all those
then
guys.
yep, Vooch
Jesus.
was quarterback coach for that back then too.
When we won the Super Bowl, he ended up coaching for the 49ers for a good chunk of time after that. A couple
Oh,
other teams too.
oh yeah. All right. Well,
All right.
so I'm gonna just go right down the list: AFC and NFC. Um, in the AFC East, I got the Bills. I think they're gonna beat the Dolphins out probably by a game and just take that division because Jets are good are gonna be okay, but it's Aaron Rodgers. He's he likes to blame others
Oh,
when he
right.
fucking sucks. Like if he sucks it
I
up,
forgot that he
oh
went to the
yeah,
Jets.
few things we could have done better. Like, but yeah. So the East, we got the Bills. Let's fucking go. Hey, if the Bills don't win the division, I'll jump through a table.
Okay.
We can make a
Yeah.
video on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All
I'm up
right.
for that.
The AFC North, I have the Ravens taking that division. I think that Lamar Jackson is going to have a solid year. He's got that new contract. I think he got Odell now, so like he's got weapons, and he was good without superstar weapons. He had like what one, and now he's got Odell, who's in the back end of his career, but he's still a solid receiver. So I think they're going to win that. Jags are definitely winning the AFC South because everybody else in that division is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with Texas, bro.
That's some shit a weirdo would say, bro. All right, the West, we
How
already
we
know
know you don't know football.
the Chiefs definitely are winning that division. Hands down, no questions asked.
Oh yeah.
The only one that give them a problem is the Chargers. Broncos are terrible, and the Raiders, what the fuck? They got Devontae, who's pissed. They got Jimmy Garoppolo now, and Jimmy Garoppolo's average at best.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Let's see what else. Okay, Yeah, Eagles are winning the East. I don't think any of the other teams have done anything and or enough to compete with them. I really
Fair
don't.
state.
Yeah, and then NFC North, I got the Lions, and I'm a Packer fan through and through, and I think the Lions have the best opportunity. All that momentum they had, obviously a different team, new players and all that, but I think the defense is there, and Dan Campbell is getting the players to buy into his system. And it's not just the same old Lions where you can expect them to lose. They're pretty damn good. They got good receivers, good quarterback.
I fear they're still gonna have that game or two where they make all those damn mental errors,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's gonna be a
it'll probably be
15
in the
penalty
playoffs.
game. I was say it's gonna be like a 15 penalty game, and it's gonna be the thing that
Hmm.
keeps them from winning that division. Like I honestly think both times they play Minnesota, they're gonna have one of those games where they can't get out of their own way.
Exactly.
But I agree. I do like the Lions there. I just think Minnesota's gonna get that one.
Hell yeah. NFC South, I got the Saints. I like Jamal Williams a lot. Follow him on social media. Dude's just fucking genuinely a good guy. Like he's a good running back. So him and Kamara as a duo, and then they got who didn't Carr go to the Saints, right? So they got a good quarterback. Get some get some weapons back. I think they can win that division. And then the West, we know that's the 49ers division to lose. I don't think that anybody else has a shot. The Rams maybe, Seahawks maybe, but the Cardinals definitely not.
Dude, the Niners are the only team where I'm not sure who the quarterback is, and I don't feel like it matters.
Yeah, the defense
Like,
itself is great, and that leads into when I pick wildcard teams. Defense is what makes a big difference for me.
well, in like that playoff game they lost this past year, they played half of that without a quarterback, and they
Yes,
still didn't play terrible. You
exactly.
still had to worry about things happening.
Hmm.
Like, shit, it's just a hell of a team,
Oh
and I
yeah.
really don't like the Niners.
All right, and then as far as wild card teams go, I'll start off the AFC. I got the Dolphins, the Bengals, and the Jets. That's
Gotcha.
my pick. The Dolphins are just gonna miss the division. The Bengals are just gonna miss the division, and the Jets are gonna sneak in because of Aaron Rodgers, who will probably choke in the playoffs. Who
And
knows?
then for the layman, what are wild cards?
These
Team.
are the teams that didn't win
Thank you,
their
Swiss.
division, but they are the next three best teams from the entirety of the conference. So
Okay.
instead of broken down into the four, it's take your four leaders out, and then what are the best three teams left?
Hmm.
Okay.
All right. So
So
And
then
so we're gonna do the NFC first.
you did AFC.
yeah, I did AFC
Okay.
first.
And I'll let you finish.
All right. So NFC to wild cards are Commanders, Seahawks, and Packers.
Really?
I think Jordan Love will do enough to get into the playoffs, and the Commanders I think are going to surprise because they just sold the team. It's a new atmosphere, a new culture around the team. So I think that that's going to help them.
Gotcha.
What, Emma?
So he did both there, Fump.
Okay. Then I will start with the NFC. We will go Rams, Saints, and I will also go the Commanders.
I have no faith in that team at all.
What, the Commanders?
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Like if you follow football, that owner just fucked that team up hard. And then he sold it for
But
billions of
maybe,
dollars and ran away with the money, you know.
yeah. Well, maybe the new owners will have incentive like pizza parties if they do good. You don't know.
Bro, why did he think of that? You know, maybe if we give them pizza parties, they'll play better. God
That's
damn
fucked.
it, bro.
Okay, so to finish my AFC wild cards, we will go. Let's do the Bengals. Let's do the Broncos, and let's do the Titans.
Hey, he must ride with
And for
Russ. Danger Russ, Bronco Country, let's ride.
Hey, Sean Payton's changing that over there.
No, he is. I think he is. I think they're going to be
So
better.
on the AFC side for me, I got the Chargers. I think Herbert has a good year.
Hmm.
And they kind of put that together a little bit. I think they finished just behind KC. Then I got the Bills. I'd say kind of the opposite of Dr. Bear there. I think Miami takes it, and the Bills are just behind by a game. And then I got the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to sneak in here, and it's going to be a tight one. I think they're going to end up at most being a 10-win team, which, I think just based on some of the other teams they beat, I think they'll take that spot. Over in the NFC, I've got the Rams. Matthew Stafford's healthy. That team's, getting their crap back together here. That's a tough division. I think they're going to be a tougher team than most people think. In my second slot at number 6, I got the Lions. I agree. I think the Lions, like I said when we were going through yours, I think the Lions are going to have just a couple of games where they get in their own way, and Minnesota takes that division. And then at the number 7 spot, I think the Giants.
Ooh, good pick.
Saquon and those guys snuck in last year. They're returning most of that team, and they've gotten a little better in places.
Hmm.
They got the tight end from Vegas now with them, Pitts. Is it Pitts?
I think
No.
so. Or Darren Waller. I think that's
Yeah,
what it
there we
is.
go. Waller.
Hmm.
Sorry, had the wrong guy there for a second.
He's like, did I get traded?
But hey, sorry about that. But they got Waller there now. I say Danny Dimes sarcastically, but he's not a terrible quarterback.
No, he's not. I think his
If you can
biggest
keep him
problem
calm.
is offensive line.
Yeah. And I think Saquon helps a lot with that.
Hmm.
He takes a lot off there. So I think the Giants take that 7th spot there.
Right on. All right, so
So
now comes the fun part, wild card. If you don't know how this works, The number 1 seed doesn't play with that first week, obviously, but the 2 seed plays the 7, 6 plays the 3, and 4 and 5 play. And then the lowest remaining seed in the next round plays the highest remaining seed. And that goes for the rest of the playoffs. So I could start. Wild card, I have the Jets and the Ravens, and I'm picking the Jets to beat the Ravens. And the Bengals Bills, I have the Bills sneaking a win away from the Bengals, and the Jags Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to take that one. On the
Gotcha.
NFC, I got the Packers playing the 49ers, and the Packers lose, of course. If they win, that'd be great, but I don't see it happening. That defense is too damn good. Uh, Seahawks and Saints, I got the Saints stealing a win, and the Commanders Lions, I got the Lions taking that win.
Back over here on the AFC side, your wild card weekend would be the Steelers versus the Titans.
Steelers versus the Titans. I'm gonna have to go Steelers.
Good choice.
Next up would be New England Patriots versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't want to keep going off who would win in a fight, but guns. So Patriots.
And then last, we have the Texans versus the Broncos.
Don't fuck with Texas.
Damn it.
Hang on, filling out his bracket for the next one here.
Now you just wait until my bracket is completely 100% true.
Oh my god.
Okay, over on the NFC side, you have the number 2 Buccaneers taking on the number 7 Commanders.
Buccaneers. Because they had Brady last year, right? And then he retired.
Correct. Then you have the
Buccaneers.
Packers versus the Rams.
Didn't the Rams do actually pretty good last year?
They won a Super Bowl 2 years ago. They had hurt people last year and didn't play so well.
Right. You know what? Let's go for the home team, man. Packers.
Good choice. I don't think it's going to happen, but hey, one can hope.
And then in the 4 and 5 spot, you have the Niners versus the Saints.
Going against what I would like, suit the 49ers.
Good shit.
All right, so for myself, the 2 on the AFC side, my 2 versus 7 is the Bengals and the Ravens, and I think the Bengals take that. My 3 versus 6 is Miami versus the Bills, and I think Buffalo wins.
Buffalo's a lot to handle sometimes.
Buffalo's against Dolphins, yeah, man.
Miami's just too young. I don't think they're ready.
And my big thing with Miami is if Tua stays healthy, they're going to be fantastic. If he does not, that's where the wild card comes in. That's the big unknown.
My 4 and 5 matchup is the Jags versus the Chargers, and I think the Jags have a better coaching unit and will keep this team together in the playoffs better. Over on the NFC side, my 2 and 7 are the Niners versus the Giants, and I think the Niners take that.
Yeah.
My 3 and 6 is Minnesota versus the Lions. These guys meet again, and I think the Lions get the better of them here. I think the Lions come out with absolutely nothing to lose and everything to prove and take that game. I think we watched Kirk Cousins have a Kirk Cousins game where...
Well, if to go back to stats, Kirk Cousins is great at noon. Or, yeah. That game would be a primetime game. He would fuck it up. Just statistically speaking, Kirk Cousins is really good during noon.
I think in general, like I watched that quarterback documentary.
Dude, that was a good documentary. I enjoyed it.
It was solid. I think he's a good guy, but I think that's also part of it. I think he's going to feel all that pressure and have that game and not realize he's having that game. My 4 and 5 would be New Orleans versus the Rams, and I think the Rams take that.
Nice. All right, so we're to divisional round now, huh? So divisional round, I got the Jets and Chiefs. I got the Chiefs taking that because I don't think Aaron Rodgers can beat that defense. And then Dolphins Bills. Dolphins are going to take it. The caveat to that is if Tua's hurt, the Dolphins don't have a chance. He is the reason that they're that good. NFC, I got Lions Eagles, and I have the Lions stealing a win, and the Saints and the Niners are going to win that one.
Gotcha. All right, so Fump, over on the AFC side, you've got Kansas City versus the Texans. In KC.
Choose wisely, ass.
Okay, no, it's got to be Kansas City.
In the other matchup, you have the Steelers versus the Patriots in Pittsburgh.
Oh, Steelers, 100%.
Good choice.
All right, over on the NFC side, you have the Packers going to Philadelphia.
No,
Taking
we're taking the Eagles. I've seen a lot of what Jalen Hurts can do,
smart
and the
choice.
Packers are just.
The biggest problem the Packers defense has is a quarterback like Jalen Hurts that can get out and scramble. Colin Kaepernick fucking destroyed them when they played together against each other. So
Then you have the Niners going to Tampa Bay. Niners versus the Buccaneers. In Tampa.
I'm gonna go with Buccaneers because I think because it's practically the same team besides without Brady, right?
Pretty much, it's a lot of the same players.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Who's their quarterback?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I'm being honest with you. I have no clue. We can look it up as you guys talk. I'll quick take a peek here.
the reason being, I think having one of the fucking greatest of all time, Tom Brady, even if most people don't like him, it's just like it's something that he leaves behind is the trail of how to run a good team, I guess. So I'm gonna definitely go with the 49ers here, or the Buck.
As a Dolphin and Giants fan, there was a time period where if you'd told me I could go kneecap somebody with a baseball bat, trouble. Tom Brady was my answer. Just because I didn't want to see it anymore. I also know the Gabe he speaks of, and we're cool with one another because, hey, along
Okay,
with
their
Eli
quarterback, for clarification, is Baker Mayfield. So,
Manning, oh God,
terrible choice.
Baker Mayfield. All right.
Anyway,
So
no shade at Baker. He's in the NFL. He's good enough quarterback, but not good enough to win the games.
He's better than others.
Yes, for sure.
So for myself, I have the Bills going to KC, and I think Buffalo takes this.
Oh,
hot take.
Yeah, I think they go in. I think this is a year where if Buffalo's going to get it together and prove they can do something, it's got to be this year. It's a lot harder to run it back than what you think. There's a reason we don't see back-to-back Super Bowls often. And I don't know that it's Casey's year again. I think they're going to do well, but I don't think they're going to go the full distance. That's asking a lot.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo takes the step forward there. Then I have the Bengals versus the Jags, and I think the Bengals win this one.
Jags are really young.
Yeah, and I think that's what it comes down to. The Bengals have been playing like they are this team.
They got Joe Shiesty, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, since Burrow showed up, and there's something to say for the type of gamesmanship that whole team has, coaching staff, everything. It looks a lot different than it had for the last, couple decades there. So, over on the NFC side, I have the Lions going to Philly, and that bird is going to kill that cat.
Yes, sir.
I really think that's going to happen. And then I got the Rams going to the Niners, and I think the Niners take that. The Niners always give the Rams a hard go, and I think that team is just built to be stronger. So that's where I'm at. So Dr. Bear, who you sending to the Super Bowl, and who wins your Super Bowl, bud?
All right, so Dolphins Chiefs. I got the Chiefs beat the Dolphins. It would be a lot closer than someone would expect, I think. And then the Lions are going to sneak away with a win on the Niners. If they play a perfect game. If they don't, they wouldn't win. And then the Super Bowl, this is the upset pick of the century, and you heard it here first. The Lions are going to win 27-24 against the Chiefs.
Wow.
If it happens and I didn't bet on it, I'm going to be fucking pissed. If that's legitimately the actual score.
That's
Shake on it. Shake on it right
crazy.
now.
That's crazy.
And my MVP will be Jalen Hurts, by the way. I think he's
MVP.
Yeah, I think he's going to be great.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Thump, you got the Steelers going to KC.
That's a good matchup.
Yeah. I think I would have to go. Yeah, I'm going to go off of what you kind of said too. Is like, I don't think they're going to go full distance, and I think the Steelers could definitely fucking bring something this year. So I'm going to go Steelers.
And that's a good choice, honestly, because you got two fantastic coaches, two really good teams. The only thing one has that the other has is a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
Right.
Over on the other side, you have Tampa Bay going to Philly.
Honestly, last year they got a taste of what victory could have been. I think that Jalen Hurts has something to prove and to grasp, and that's that victory. So I'm going to definitely go with the Eagles.
So that makes your Super Bowl matchup the Steelers versus the Eagles.
Frankly, that seems like a good ass
Honestly,
game.
let's think about that for a second. Philadelphia would be a party no matter what happened, or like Pennsylvania, I should say, not Philadelphia, but
like
that
all
would
in
be
all, I
crazy.
think that would be a fucking killer game.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going to go with my same reason. Fucking the Eagles had some, like, it was right there,
And
and
they kind of got had. And I remember messaging you like, what about the Eagles? You're like, fuck off, bro.
And I remember when I was at Gabe's for the Super Bowl party, and I was just like, we always got next year, and then he was angry. He was just like, they never go fucking, no team goes 2 fucking times in a row. I'm just like, they will, man. I feel it. So we're gonna see if they can get back there, they're gonna take it 100%.
Gotcha. Thoughts on a most valuable player of the year?
So is it like if they get to that point, like only the people in like the Super Bowl or the
Anybody.
playoffs?
No,
Anybody.
everybody. There are multiple times the MVP doesn't even make it into the playoffs.
And I can add, we're gonna add Coach of the Year, by the way. There's a fun little one at the end.
I don't know coaches.
That's fine.
Fun fact.
You just pick a team you think's gonna have the best coach. It doesn't matter.
I definitely think Jalen, again, something to prove. I think he would be one showing himself to the MVP. Don't know much about Joe Burrow, but I know he's in a lot of rap songs, so we're gonna go with Joe Burrow as well.
Joe Shiesty, I like it. Love it, dude.
For me, I got the Bills versus the Bengals. That's a rough pick right there for me.
Mm-hmm. I know you said that the Bills would really prove themselves this year.
However, I think the Bengals take this.
They have the better
I
quarterback.
think that team knows how to get there, knows how to do it. Over on the other side, I have the Philly versus the Niners, and man, if Brock Purdy even has half the year he was having last year, I think this team goes to the Super Bowl. So I got Bengals Niners, and I think the Bengals get their Super Bowl.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a really solid, tight game all the way through. But I think at the end of the day, the 49ers defense will make a couple of plays on Burrow that nobody expects. I think they can come away with that. And then it comes down to just Brock Purdy and company, holding on to the ball, taking care of business. And that's exactly what that offense is built to do. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Niners. On the flip side for MVP, I have Patrick Mahomes taking this thing again. If not him, it's Herbert. I think one of those two just goes off this year. Somebody's going to pass for 5,000 yards. It's going to be one of them, and I think
Yeah.
that's going to be.
I have a dark horse for
Oh,
MVP.
yeah.
It would be Aaron Rodgers. He's got something to prove.
Yeah.
It's
He
possible,
could.
you know what I mean? Because they did that with when they drafted Love. Gave him a
Right.
bug up his ass, and he balled out for 2 years, and then they're like, "Hey, we don't need you anymore," you know. But my
fair enough.
coach of the year would be Matt LaFleur. I think if he gets to the Packers to the playoffs with an untested quarterback, he should be voted in as coach of the year.
Sean Payton.
That's a good one too.
I think Denver ends up winning at least 9 games this year.
That's another good one, yeah.
Looks way better than what they did, but that's
Mhm.
one hell of a division to be stuck in.
Yeah, for sure.
I go the Pittsburgh
Mike
coach.
Tomlin, that's a good choice.
Sure, man.
He's only been there forever. Shit, how long has Tomlin been in Pittsburgh? Like 15 years? The only one
Since
longer tenured is Belichick.
like 05 or 07, something
Yeah,
like
dude,
that.
like before I
I
did the
can't.
military thing, bro, like that's a long ass time ago.
Yeah, I can't remember when Cowher retired, but
He was a damn good coach too, like
the
Jesus.
Steelers have only had 3 head coaches in the whole history of the team. So
Yes. Mike Tomlin, I'm looking it up. We're gonna find out. His record is 163 and 93. His postseason record is 8-9, so like not freaking bad.
he's just under 500 in the postseason. Not bad.
Let's
2 Super Bowls, 1 Super Bowl.
2008 Super Bowl that they won.
Yep.
He was the head coach since
And
2007. Then he
2012.
lost. Then he lost in 10 to the Packers,
Yep.
and that's it since then.
Okay.
And I'm looking at his record, and his entire record, his worst record is 8-8.
Yeah. This dude's never had a losing season.
No, for sure. He's got a losing season in the playoff, losing record, but it's 8-9. In the playoff football, literally one play changes a game. So,
Hell yeah.
next time we'll be back to some gaming. So for myself, Doc, Fumpy, and Swiss, we'll see you guys next time. See ya.